Hello, this is Craig, and I'd like to teach you about roguelike interiors. Most roguelikes have cavey interiors, and the reason for that is twofold. First, most of them happen in caves. Second, cave-like interiors are much easier. I, however, wanted to fill my buildings with talking NPCs that it would make sense that they would have built the place. If you use one of the cave generation methods to generate interiors, it looks extremely crappy. So I had to come up with a way to do it that didn't look crappy. I've actually done it lots. This is just one of many attempts. However, this attempt is unique in that it is extremely simple and still produces very interesting interiors. As you can see, this is an interior that makes some sort of sense. You've got some semi-private rooms, you've got some rear entrances, you've got private areas off of semi-private areas, you've got forking paths. But it doesn't come off as being crazy. Oh well, it comes off maybe as being a little crazy, but it's not totally crazy. It's close enough that someone could explore it and find it fun, and wouldn't be surprised when an NPC said, "This is my bedroom. What are you doing here?" The way I do this is I use a standard BSP. For those of you who aren't really familiar with binary space partitions, I will explain now. This is a good map to do it on because this map is pretty crappy, so it's closer to the original binary space partition. What I do is I take the original rectangle around the whole space and I split it into two pieces. Here's the split, here's piece 1, here's piece 2. I then take each of those pieces and I split them. Here's the split, and here's the split. Wait a second, I hear you say. Wait, that split doesn't exist. Well, actually it does exist. You can see that all of these rectangles are broken across that split. Because what I do is, once I've created the BSP down to the level I want it, I knock down walls. And that's all you have to do to turn a BSP into a good interior. Well, you have to make sure the BSP doesn't create any really, really tiny rooms, but other than that, you're golden. I only use two rules to knock down walls. The first is, if a room is 3 times larger in one dimension than the other, it is a hallway, and I knock down the skinny edges. Here is an example. I knocked down this edge here. I just clicked on 2 rooms at once, sorry. I knocked down this edge here and this edge here. Knock those walls down, you have a hallway. Another example, another example. I know in a more normal interior you normally wouldn't have 2 hallways right next to each other. You'll have to forgive me. Now I'm going to reload again because I'm looking for a specific kind of hallway to show you. Here we are. There are 2 kinds of hallways. There are dog runs. Dog runs connect 2 interior rooms to each other. Hallways do not. The distinction is that a hallway is connected to an outside edge, and therefore we can put main entrances and zone transitions on it. Here's another example. Next, I knock down walls for rooms that aren't hallways. And the way I do that is I look at a room and I look at its parent. If its parent split east to west, I knock down a north or south wall, and if it split north to south, I knock down an east or west wall. This ensures that I will knock down the walls which are most likely to be part of the extremely rigid structure, instead of just re-merging it into, Grandpa's framework. So what I mean, I will show you it here. This and this are a good example. Originally, these 2 rooms were probably like this, with walls here. However, since they split west to east, the parent split west to east, I knocked out either a north wall or a south wall. In this case, I knocked out a south wall on both. I knocked out this south wall and merged it into the room that was here. And I knocked out this south wall and merged it into the room that was here. Please note that the room I merged it into went away. There are not 2 rooms. There is 1 room with 2 rectangles that define its size. Also note that I did not knock down the entire south wall. I only knocked down the south wall that was shared by another rectangle. And I probably decided randomly between these 2 rectangles. That's it. Those are the rules for how you create this sort of system, and it ends up looking pretty good. And it also ends up creating a nice variety of large and small rooms with hallways and lacks of hallways. This is a large map. You can create smaller maps if you're looking for, a house rather than a mansion. It also serves as a decent interior for offices. Of course, half of everything is in the connectivity of the rooms, and I have done a simple kind of connectivity path. I can explain it to you right now. I pick a random room and make that room the heart. I then go through every other room and I connect it to the heart via a shortest possible path, utilizing existing paths as possible. For example, this room was probably the heart. Chances are that this room being the heart, when I went to connect this, I went, okay, I gotta go towards the heart. 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 I'm at the heart. And then when this room came around, it was like, well, hey, I'm actually already connected to the heart. I don't have to do any work at all. And I just repeated it and made sure that every room was connected. There is a very, very tiny chance, something on the order of 1 in a million, that a room will not have any doors. This only happens, I've only seen it happen twice, and I haven't tracked down the error, the code bug. But if you're programming it on your own, maybe you won't have the same problem. Don't forget that spaces that are connected, even if they aren't doors, they count as connections, and I actually explicitly add all connections to each room. So this dog run here has 5 connections. I should have 6, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be full connectivity. And of course these doors are also connections. In this way you should be able to traverse your rooms quite well with your NPCs, and you can also use that same node map to find your path back to the heart. Notice that this ends up creating perfectly acceptable kinds of layouts, and it's easy and it's fast, so that's how I do it. When I calculate out the purpose of a room, I use its privacy rating. Privacy ratings are easy. You search for a public room. Any room which has non-door connections is considered public. You follow from a room, you follow all of the room's connections out, and you count how many times it takes you to get to a public room. That is your privacy rating. So a public room has a privacy rating of 0. This room has a privacy rating of 1 because it is 1 step away from a public room. On the other hand, a room like this has a privacy rating of 2. And a room like this has a privacy rating of lots. Now, high privacy rating doesn't necessarily mean more important. This is probably a closet, or maybe a master bath. Yeah, that's it. The simple and easy way to build an interior.